What if the life that you've been told you cannot afford, the warm weather, the slower pace of life, the feeling of actually living instead of just surviving? What if that life was available to you right now on the income you already have? What if Social Security was actually enough? Hello, my name is Joey Jersey. I live in Mombasa, Kenya, on the beach in a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a financial guru, an ordinary American who made a decision to move away from the United States. And in this video, I'm going to help you make the most out of it if you decide to take the same path as I did. So the main question remains, is it possible to retire on Social Security and improve your cash flow? Spoiler alert, it is. So let's start talking about the uncomfortable or inconvenient truth out in Washington, which is Social Security is just simply not enough for an American to live. The average Social Security recipient receives $1,900 per month, and the average Social Security disability insurance recipient, SSDI, receives $1,500 a month. Considering that the average or the median rent in the United States is $1,500 for a 1-bedroom, that is simply just not enough to retire on, assuming that you even paid off your house. The average property tax in a house in the United States comes out to roughly $340 a month, and maintenance of the house costs roughly $360. Add those together, that's $700. Even when you own a house, $1,500 to $1,900 is simply not going to do it. You could simply move abroad. And by moving abroad, you're going to open yourself to different possibilities. There are some trade-offs. You're going to miss certain things. You're going to miss your family, your friends, maybe, or maybe not. You're going to miss certain brands. I know I do, like going to Starbucks. You may be an Amazon fanatic, you may be a Walmart or a Target, or you may miss Sonic or some other chain, and they don't have those in most countries. But stick around because I have a solution to work around at least most of those issues. Also, later in the video, I'm going to propose to you something that you could do. Even if you already moved, you could still make some money and take advantage of this. Or if you don't plan on moving, you could still take advantage and make a few bucks. So stick around for the video. So I decided to make this video into 5 parts. So let's get to the second part. Now, can you actually receive Social Security abroad? That is a question that a lot of people have. And the answer is pretty much yes, just about everywhere. A few exceptions of North Korea, Cuba. Now let's talk about finances. The best part is yet to come, so don't click away from the video. I swear this is a really good video. But first things first, let's lay down the foundations. When you move abroad, you need to worry about opening up a bank account. But before doing so, I highly recommend you do not get rid of any American bank account. But in particular for the United States, my personal recommendation is to open a Charles Schwab checking account before you leave. Charles Schwab's reimburses all international ATM fees worldwide at the end of every month. No foreign transaction fees, no minimum balance. This is generally one of the most useful practical tools for living abroad. Alternatively, the Social Security Administration can make direct deposits to certain foreign banks depending on the country. For a point in time, I had Social Security benefits being paid to Cape Verde, being paid to Portugal. Now, when you do open a bank account, you're going to have to open a bank account with that country's currency, which is your main checking account. And then you're going to have to ask for a dollar account because the Social Security Administration does not issue money to anything but dollar accounts. So when you go and you open up a bank account in a foreign country, you got to make sure you ask not only for a regular checking account, you also got to ask for the dollar account, because the dollar account is that routing number is where the Social Security Administration is going to route the money to. In my particular case in Kenya, you don't, because everything goes to my US bank. For my US bank, I have a link to these apps, which later in the video, like I told you before, don't go anywhere. We got some promo codes for you. I use the app, which is linked to my bank account, which then gets transferred to my mobile number, where they have a digital wallet that most people use called M-Pesa. And that's how people transact. If I want to give money to somebody, if I want to buy something, I just use my phone number and I pay either to another person through their phone number or through their till number, which is a business. One important thing to know, you must notify the Social Security Administration before you move abroad. Do not try to hide it. with that said, now let's move on to the third part that I want to talk about. How far does Social Security go? Now this is where the video starts getting a little bit more exciting. I'm not going to take you around the world. I'm just going to take you to 6 destinations as an example. Let's first start with where I'm at. Mombasa, Kenya. Mombasa is Kenya's second largest city. I live on the beach. My backyard, a large garden with a gate to the beach. I can see the beach from my balcony, and I get it all for less than $500. And the food isn't the best in Kenya. It has African, Arab, Portuguese, and Indian influences. Now let's talk about cost of living. A decent 1-bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood here costs between $400 to $500 a month. A full sit-down meal costs about $7 to $10. Going to a good clinic, $20 to $40. So living comfortable in Mombasa, it doesn't take much. Between $1,500 and $2,000 a month, you could live pretty well. If you're gonna move, then try to capitalize on it. I put away $1,000 every month, and I buy a bunch of ETFs, which I hope within a few years it's going to be enough to pay for my rent and my utilities. If you're interested about those ETFs, check out the link in the description, or don't worry about it. At the end of the video, you can click on it. That was my previous video, was all the ETFs that I'm invested in, and I highly suggest you take a look at it. $10,000 of those ETFs will get you roughly $100 in dividend payments alone per month. Not quarterly, not yearly, per month. $10,000. So if you have $50,000, you could be making $500 a month in dividend payments, which here you could live on the beach, just like me. That means you'd be rent-free with those dividends. Another one is France. To be quite frank with you, 99% of places in Europe is cheaper than the United States. So I chose specifically towards France because I have family there, and I've been there plenty of times. And in towards France, it's not a little city. It's a city. It's the 5th largest or 6th largest city in France. It has a population of 140,000. And in fact, at one point, I believe during 2 years, it was the capital of France. Tours is in the heart of the Loire Valley. And that's where all the chateaus are at. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Area. The surrounding countryside is filled with medieval chateaus, vineyards, and rivers that have inspired artists and writers for centuries. Trust me. A 1-bedroom apartment, I kid you not, in Tours goes between $600 to $900. When I'm talking about the prices of living in Tours for $600 to $900 for a 1-bedroom, it's not in the outskirts. It's where it all is, where the nightlife is, where the shopping is, where the bureaucracy is, where transportation is. You get it all for $600 to $900. Another place is Georgia, not the state in the U.S., but the country. Now, that one for SSDI recipients is the place to be. It's got good food. It's relatively stable. It's got decent healthcare. For a 1-bedroom in a well-located area, it's $300. That's it. Of course, you got Thailand, but another one is Medellin, Colombia. The last one is Lisbon, Portugal. Now, Lisbon is the most expensive one I'm going to be talking about, but it still earns its place. I was asking for the countries where most Americans are moving to, but this came up, so I figured why not show this. So, best countries for Americans to move in 2026, and in Europe, what's the first country that pops up? Portugal. And in this particular one, this is Realtor.com. The number one country Americans want to move to the most is no other but Portugal. Now, part 4 is about the challenges nobody talks about. So, number 1 is the healthcare. Now, if you go to any Western European, I want to stress that Western European country, you get better healthcare there than the U.S. Now, let's talk about Medicare. If you're American, I would suggest you stick with Medicare until the day you decide you're never coming back. The day I decided I'm never going back to the United States, I dropped it like a bad habit. Now, let's talk about isolation and loneliness. I'm going to give you a hack. It's not lonely if you go to Facebook, search for expats in your country of choice to relocate. Ask questions and get to know about the nuances over here, the differences, what to expect, what not to expect. Another thing is go on dating apps if you're single. So most of the foreigners, I would say 90% of the foreigners that I deal with and that are my friends here, they're American. I'm just going to have something more in connection with Americans, because I'm American. I was talking about banking and money access. This will be a situation where you help me, my channel, and I will help you. So it's a win-win for both of us. If you're not a member of any of these money transfer apps, if you use this code, download all these apps, Some of them you don't need to use the referral link. You could just go straight to the app and put the referral code. In this case, mine is IJQ7F. And you get $20 free on your first transfer. I'm also going to talk about how to make extra cash flow if you move abroad. Let's talk about adaptation again. In my particular case, I really there's certain things that I like that are not found, not even in Europe. Like, for example, the triple antibiotic ointment that you put on scars, Montreal steak seasoning. I mean, just little things like that you never find outside the United States. You don't really need to leave. For example, most countries, like, for example, in Kenya, you can use this place called Savo's store. Per 1 kilogram, you get charged $15. That includes customs, everything. $15 to Nairobi, and then you have the option for an additional $3 from Nairobi to be shipped somewhere else. Lastly, let's just recap a little bit, at least the most important parts for me. All my money transfer app codes and links are in the description below, or I hope you screenshotted them before. Use them, save yours, real money from day one. My name is Joey Jersey. I'm living proof that a different life is possible outside the United States. God bless you. I will see you in the next one. Deuces.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the web.